Hello everyone, John Locke here, and today I have something a little bit different. Today I'm going to explain the Lockpicking Belt Ranking System. In this video, I'll cover what are lockpicking belts, who developed the ranking system, and what are the requirements to obtain each belt. Lockpicking belts follow the idea of the karate belt system. Each rank denotes a certain level of skill demonstrated by the picker. A belt goes in the following order: white, yellow, orange, green, blue, purple, brown, red, and black. Getting any belt puts you in a pretty exclusive club. There are currently 4,689 people in the world recognized with the lockpicking belt. Even within the subreddit lockpicking community, only about 3% of subscribers to the subreddit have received a white belt or higher. 82.9% of all people awarded any belt have a yellow belt or higher. 54.9% have an orange belt or higher. 20.3% have a green belt or higher. 8.8% have a blue belt or higher. 4.8% have a purple belt or higher. 2.9% have a brown belt or higher. 1.9% have a red belt or higher. And only 1.2% of people have a black belt ranking. The belt ranking system was developed by the Lockpicking subreddit and Lockpickers United. I'll include links in the video description to both the subreddit and the Discord server. On the subreddit, there's a very full description of the belt ranking system, including a lot more details I did not include in this video, but the video is a helpful overview of the entire system. The qualifications for various belts is constantly changing, and the information in this video is current as of May 2021. So please head over to the official wiki article for more up-to-date information. The belt ranking system is open source under a Creative Commons license. I also put the link directly into the wiki article in the video description. The white belt is the first step in the belt ranking journey. Opening any lock with any lock-picking tool or method can earn you this rank. However, the list of locks on the screen are known to be easier locks to open. Because any picking method is allowed, locks may be single pin picked, raked, etc. But remember that a bypass, such as using a padlock shim to open a lock, is generally not considered picking. A picture of the lock, the keyway turned to the open position, without a key inserted, is sufficient to earn this belt. To earn any belt, you must message the moderators of the lockpicking subreddit or post to the belt request channel on Discord. Again, you can find this information on the subreddit wiki linked in the video description. For all the belt ranks, I will not read the locks which qualify for each belt. If you're interested in reading the list, please pause the video. I'll give a few seconds to let you pause on each screen. The next belt is the yellow belt. It has a similar requirement as the white belt, but the locks on this list are a little more challenging and are generally higher quality with higher tolerances than the white belt list. There are several pages of yellow belt locks, and I'll give a few seconds on each screen, which should give you enough time to pause the video to read the list. The orange belt is when I started to feel like a real picker. These locks start to incorporate some security pins, like the spools and serrated pins. At this rank, you are required to submit a video proof of you opening a lock. The video does not need to be public, just shared with the moderators who award the belts. For the orange belt, a lock which cannot be disassembled, i.e. it has a non-removable core, a photograph of the pick lock is also permitted. Green belt is where the requirements start to become a little more strict and difficult. The locks on this list are getting more and more security features, and some of these locks are dimple pin style locks. From green belt on, only single pin picking is allowed, which means raking and other methods are no longer permitted. Pictures are no longer allowed as evidence, and the pick must be done in video in one continuous take with the lock never leaving the frame. In addition to picking the lock, the video must also include disassembly or gutting of the lock in the same continuous take. After we take a look at the locks on the Greenbelt list, I'll explain gutting a little bit more. Gutting or disassembling a lock means taking it apart. The gutting of a lock serves a couple of purposes. First, it demonstrates a knowledge of the mechanics of locks and how they work. Second, it serves as proof that the lock has not been altered from its stock assembly to make it easier to pick. For example, by replacing security pins with standard pins. Gutting a lock requires some special tools. You can purchase these tools from various lock picking suppliers, or there are plenty available as 3D printed models which you can download and print yourself. Some of these tools are a pinning tray, like the one you see here. I can also recommend the Sparrows pinning tray. Another is plug followers, which help remove the plug from the cylinder without the driver pins shooting out all over the place. A pair of tweezers is also needed. And I also highly recommend a C-clip removal tool. The C-clip is what keeps the plug in the cylinder, and this needs to be removed to disassemble the lock. It is possible to remove the C-clip with a pair of pliers and a screwdriver or a sharp instrument to kind of get under the lip, but it's a little bit dangerous and it's definitely difficult. It's even difficult with the C-clip removal tool. I think it makes it a lot easier. I've posted links in the video description to a whole bunch of different tools that I've used and I can recommend, absolutely recommend. So you'll find those there, both ones that you can buy and ones that you can 3D print. Uh, Also in the video description, you'll find a link to the Helpful Lock Picker. He has a great video on how to disassemble and reassemble locks. That is a super, super helpful video. So look in the video description for that as well. Okay, next is the blue belt. The blue belt is where you start to get into non-standard and high security locks. These locks have been built with security against picking as a high priority. In addition to the previous requirements, you'll also have to demonstrate that you're an active part of the lock-picking community, helping new pickers with support on either Reddit or the Discord community. And you'll need to create and share a challenge lock with the community as well. A challenge lock is a lock modified by you to make it more challenging and fun to open. And after we look at the Blue Belt lock list, I'll tell you a little more about challenge locks. As I mentioned before, a challenge lock is a lock that has been modified by you to make it more fun and challenging to pick. Challenge locks are shared in the community and passed along from picker to picker. Challenge locks must have a minimum of 6 modifications. The first type of modification is to modify either key or driver pins. There are a lot of neat ideas like serrated spools and snowman shapes that can be made. Each pin that is modified counts as one modification. So if you modify 4 pins, that's 4 of the 6 required modifications. The next type of modification is to the chambers, either in the plug or in the Bible. 2 common modifications are countermilling or threading, which helps security pins get stuck in the chambers while picking. This modification only counts as one modification, regardless of the number of chambers modified. Another modification is a secondary locking mechanism. These are usually very fun and creative, and I love seeing challenge locks with this type of modification. The penultimate modification is an engraving on the lock. I've never seen a challenge lock without this modification. It's really a standard. The lock you see now shows my first challenge lock with its name engraved on one side, and on the other side is my maker's mark. The last type of modification is if you have hand cut your own key. You might use the original key pins when you make a challenge lock, and then your stock key will work just fine. But perhaps you want to create a particularly difficult bidding. That will require a new key. One of the requirements of a challenge lock is that it has a working key with it. So if you make difficult bidding, you also have to make a key. Hand cutting a key requires the use of a key blank and a file to make a new working key. The hand cut key also counts as a single modification. A full description of the challenge lock requirements are also found on the Lockpicking subreddit wiki. And once again, I will link that in the video description. If you're working on creating your first challenge lock, DMAC has done a 3-part series on creating challenge locks that I highly, highly recommend. The link is in the video description. And yeah, watch that. It's really, really good. One last remark on challenge locks is that there's a really great website, challengelock.com, which lets you register and track your challenge lock around the world and lets people give you feedback. Once again, you'll find the link for the challenge-lock.com in the video description. Welcome to Purple Belt. These are the locks that mere mortals call unpickable, but we know that label is a marketing myth. Starting with this belt, you must pick at least 2 locks on the list. The brown belt level continues into the ultra high security locks. Many of these locks will require that you make or modify your own picking tools to get them open. Again, you'll need to pick at least 2 locks from this list, and you'll need to demonstrate a history of not only helping new pickers, but also helping advanced pickers through the Reddit or Discord communities. The second to last belt, the red belt, these locks are insanely hard to open, and locks in this category are usually expensive to get. eBay can be your friend. In addition to the prior requirements, you have to pick at least 2 locks from the red belt list and have made at least 1 specialized tool and mentored a picker at the blue belt level or higher in getting into a difficult lock. The mythical black belt, given to the best of the best, a truly amazing accomplishment. In addition to the previous requirements, you must pick at least 2 black belt locks, publish specifications on a custom tool you have created, and mentor at least 2 advanced pickers and finished 2 epic quests. I'll give some details about epic quests after we take a look at the black belt lock list. Black belt recipients must have completed at least 2 epic quests. There are 3 variations of epic quests. The first is to pick an additional 2 black belt locks. The second type of epic quest is developing extra skills, which could vary from safe cracking to an electronics project, key impressioning, making a cutaway lock, etc., etc. The moderation team on Reddit and Discord can advise you if you have other ideas for extra skills. And the third and final version of an epic quest is a master's project. 2 examples of a master's project would be making a lock completely from scratch or starting a chapter of Tool or similar community organization. If you're not familiar with Tool, it's the open organization of lockpickers, and I'll also link them in the video description. Well, that wraps up everything I wanted to share about Lockpicking Belt Ranking System. Thanks for watching. This is a new type of video for me, and I'm always trying to think of new types of content to bring to my channel. I'd sincerely appreciate it if you left a comment on the video and let me know what you think. If you like the content, a thumbs up is also appreciated. If you haven't subscribed and you like different types of lockpicking videos, please think about subscribing to my channel. Have a great rest of your day and week, and I look forward to sharing my next video with you. Bye for now.